So the drummers joined in among the Iceland fans as Wales look to continue their unbeaten start under Craig Bellamy. And Bellamy has made a clutch of changes for this one. Danny Ward gets the nod in goal after Carl Darlow played an important part in Montenegro on his debut last month. At the back, it's Connor Roberts, Joe Roden, Ben Davis, the skipper, and Nico Williams. Now, in the UEFA lineup, Sorba Thomas is playing as a wing-back, but we expect it to be a 4-3-3. So it'll be Sorba Thomas, Ollie Cooper and Jordan James with Harry Wilson, Brennan Johnson and Kiefer Moore. Johnson, of course, 6 in 6 for Spurs, but just 3 goals in 31 caps. This is his 31st cap for Wales. Iceland have Brentford goalkeeper Havon Valdimarsson between the sticks. Then they have Valgeir Fredriksson, Daniel Leo Gretarsson, Sverre Inge Ingersson and Corbin Finson at the back. Their captain is Johan Gudmundsson, now plays his football in Saudi Arabia, but of course he was with Craig Bellamy at Burnley. Stefan Thordarson of Preston, William Pur Williamson of Birmingham City, and then 3 up front, Andre Gudjonsson, Ori Oskarsson of Sociedad and Jon Dager Torsteinsson of Hertha Berlin. The referee is Antoni Bandic of Bosnia-Herzegovina. And of course, Wales are on 4 points alongside Turkey at the top of Group B4. Iceland so far have lost 3-1 to Turkey, but had a home win over Montenegro, with Oskarsson and Torstensson scoring the goals. So much expectation. No Ethan Ampadu, no Aaron Ramsey, no Daniel James, but Craig Bellamy really happy with the way things have gone so far. And he is looking to become the first Wales manager to go undefeated in his first 3 games. We are underway, Wales all in red, Iceland in blue, and immediately we see that Nico Williams is in the full-back berth and Sorba Thomas comes short to take a throw. Williams driven back towards his own goal line. Ben Davis, the captain, blasts the ball against the shins of an Icelandic striker. The pitch looks patchy to say the least, as Thomas is robbed. And we've played 37 seconds, and by this time in Montenegro, Wales were 1 up thanks to Kiefer Moore. I've got goal scorers alongside me, Nathan Blake and Jane Ludlow. And Nathan, first of all, the lineup, it looks it's clear now Sorba Thomas is playing in a forward role.
Yeah, it looks to be a 4-3-3, Rob. Quite positive from Craig, I have to say. It's going to be, like we said earlier, difficult to replace Ethan Ampadu, but you know, let's just see how the game pans out in the next 15-20 minutes or so.
And Jane Ludlow, former Wales manager and of course Wales midfielder. I suppose the key thing for Wales is how they replace Ethan Ampadu in that holding role in midfield, because he's been such a big presence.
I was so disappointed when I heard of his injury the other week, because I think, he was becoming so consistent for us and obviously building the relationship with James as well. I was really looking forward to that evolving. Obviously that's not going to happen for a few months yet, but yeah, hopefully we'll get him back sooner rather than later.
Thomas on the ball now, in field to Moore, helped on by Wilson, but he can't find Johnson, who's operating on that right-hand side. And Iceland have the ball in front of their own penalty area now with their goalkeeper Havon Valdimarsson of Brentford, only 2 league appearances this season.
I think the miss of Ethan Ampadu, Rob, was the most disappointing thing. It was allowing Jordan James to press on and play as an 8 rather than a holding midfielder next to him like we've seen in the past, so we're going to miss that tonight.
And Torsteinsson knocks the ball into the penalty area, and Wales concede the first corner of the game. We've 2.5 minutes gone. Iceland 0, Wales 0 on Radio Wales Sport and 5 Sport Extra. It's going to be swung in from that left-hand side by Thorsteinsson.
Jay mentioned it earlier, this is where they're strongest, Rob.
They've got plenty of blue shirts in there, but it's Roden who heads away for Wales. Collected by the captain, Gudmundsson. Out to Thorsteinsson, Gudmundsson again, a little deeper is Finnsson. He plays his football in Utrecht. They are spread far and wide, these Iceland players, as Fridriksson of Dusseldorf collects the ball in the centre circle, chips it out to the Iceland left, headed away, but not in too convincingly. But then there's a foul on Sober Thomas by Gudmundsson, and it's a Wales free kick. Sober Thomas went down clutching those locks, made a surprise return last month and made a big impression as well.
It looks like he's up for it tonight also. Good start to the game.
Ball in
so
the
lively, nice and positive.
This is the 8th meeting between these sides. Wales have won the last 4 against Iceland, so they've got a decent record against this team. As Gudmundsson tries to work his way through a clutch of Wales players, Sober Thomas robs him. He's now playing Sober Thomas, of course, out in Nantes, on loan from Huddersfield, and thoroughly enjoying the French experience as well. Roden, who used to play in France, in Rennes, across to his captain, Davis, former Tottenham teammate. Jordan James collects in midfield. Williams switches possession out to that far right-hand side. Picked up by Johnson. Wilson has gone ahead. Wilson has to backtrack, but brings in Roden. Ball is clipped across to Sober Thomas, making a raid down the left-hand side, but it's cleared away by Fridriksson. Collected in the midfield by Birmingham's Williamson. Then he's robbed by a combination of Ollie Cooper and Sober Thomas. And it's with Davis, 89 caps for Ben Davis. He is moving closer to Neville Southall, who's the next up on 92 caps. Davis 5th in the overall golden cap table. As Sober Thomas tries to switch play but gives the ball away. And it's played forward quickly to Oscarsson, who lays it out on the left-hand side. Picked up by Andre Gudmundsson, son of Ada Gudmundsson, the former Chelsea player. And Fridriksson again for Iceland, as Wales have forced them back into their own half. 6 minutes gone, goalless. What are you making of it, Jane Ludlow?
Yeah, neither team have put their stamp on this yet, have they? To be fair, Ollie Cooper has made some really good interceptions in midfield, so he's getting around the park well right now, obviously playing alongside James in that deep lying role. So interested to see how he does through the game tonight. So it's a great opportunity to get some international minutes for him.
Johnson holds off Connor Roberts, who thought it was a Wales throw.
It was actually.
But
well, Jordan James just played it against the Icelandic player.
Finnsson into Oscarsson, a rising star now at Sociedad. Across to Gudmundsson, shoots left-footed, good block by Cooper on the edge of the box. Then it's picked up by Gudmundsson, and Cooper is trying to rob the Iceland captain, but he's held on to it just. And it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Valdimarsson.
There's a good example there of Cooper again. If he's a man of the match for the first 7 minutes, he'd have it right now, because he's around that midfield. He's hunting everything that's moving in there right now. Hopefully he can keep it up for 90 minutes for us.
Long ball forward inside the Wales centre backs. Chance here for Iceland. They're into the penalty area, and Gudmundsson tried to lay it across to Oscarsson, but it was blocked. Nathan Blake.
Yeah, just need to be careful, Wales. That ball, they don't waste no time getting the ball forward, Rob. They're not looking to play through midfield and, you know, open you up like that. Cute little passes. They're going very direct.
And if that ball had gone through, Torsteinsson was by himself coming in from the left-hand side.
I think he was offside in the beginning. The first ball, Rob. I think there was an offside there.
Their highlights how narrow Iceland are in the attack. So you got three, obviously the wide boys coming in quite narrow when they do get the ball and just playing through central areas right now. So it's going to be an interesting challenge for our backline.
Goalless after 8 minutes on Radio World Sport and 5 Sport Extra. Group B4 of the Nations League.
Now, the first goal is really important in any game, Rob. You get the feeling it's going to be critical in this game.
Cooper's made a dart forward to join in up front. Sorba Thomas found him, but he couldn't hold on to the ball. Could the Swansea City player, whose dad, Kevin Cooper, had a decent career as well. Wolves fans may remember him. Iceland throw down the right-hand side. Play forward by Finson, but too strong. Danny Ward comes on. Interesting choice of Danny Ward, Nathan Blake. I think you and I thought maybe Carl Darlow might get the nod after his performance in Montenegro.
Yeah, I did in fairness, but you know, obviously we don't see them in training, where have you. Maybe the decision was made from the get-go, Rob, just don't know.
Well, before Montenegro, he'd started 11 of Wales's last 13. And of course, he has played since the Montenegro game last month. It was a League Cup game against Walsall where he saved 3 penalties.
Whereas Carl hasn't.
Yeah,
no. And I think that's a problem for Craig. We highlighted in the last game, Rob, against Turkey. It's going to be really important for one of these keepers to get some game time. I think whoever's playing the most will play. Simple as that. So it's really hard. It's hard enough to come off the bench in the league football, but not to play at all and then step up to international level. It's a huge jump. It's a big ask.
Yeah, it's really difficult with goalkeepers. As James plays the ball forward, comes back to the Welsh defence, but Davis fires the ball out to Sorba Thomas in the left-hand side, just inside the half. Good ball forward by Nico Williams. Wilson's onside, is he? And it's just saved. No, it's turned in by Brennan Johnson. It may have been across the line anyway. Wilson darted in. The goalkeeper could only half save it, and Brennan Johnson was there to tuck it home to make sure. And 10 minutes gone. Johnson continues his super streak. That's 7 in 7 for club and country. It's Iceland 0, Wales 1.
Yeah, great run in the first instance by Harry Wilson. And, you know, I'm not sure, I don't think it went over the line, but Brennan Johnson, again, right place, right time. We spoke about it pre-match, tracking in on that far post as he should do. And a beautiful touch, gets it past the keeper. Keeper does really well, and he just pushes it into that man. That's what, 7 in 7. It's an incredible stat.
Yeah, look, it's great. Wales have moved the ball around right to left there. Obviously, they're playing against a really compact 4-4-2 Icelandic team right now, but they've exposed it. High backline, disorganised backline. Harry Wilson, really good timed run. But if you're an Icelandic defender or a goalkeeper, when they look back at that goal, if I'm the goalkeeper, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. The ball is trickling into the net, and a red shirt manages to get there first, and you just look, the boys in blue shirt are just watching it.
Yeah, it's almost like they were frozen in time. Maybe it's because it's in Iceland.
That's awful, mate.
Well, Harry Wilson is proving so important for Wales. If he's not scoring, which he almost did there, the goalkeeper, we've seen an angle from behind the goal now. The goalkeeper did stop the ball from going over, but there was Brennan Johnson poaching as a good striker should. But Wilson has just been so important for Wales. That's he's been involved now in 8 goals in the last 9 starts for Wales, either scoring or assisting.
Oh, it's great. This is what we want. Look, we're looking for the next Bale, aren't we? We keep saying it all the time. Who's going to come up and take that mantle and step on the pitch every game in a red shirt and outperform people? So hopefully that's going to be him for us tonight.
So 1-0 Wales. Brennan Johnson
with a worldie.
Well, they all count, don't they? Yeah? That's what you tell us.
Absolutely. But James, right, I couldn't believe, like, the blue shirts in the end started putting their hands up for offside because they knew, like, we've all just ball watching.
They were completely, completely frozen, as you said.
And the problems are all with Aga Haraida, the 71-year-old in charge of Iceland. He's been around. He knows what he's doing. In fact, he's the only coach to win leagues in 3 different Scandinavian countries. So he's got a bit of pedigree. It's Cooper on the ball again, wearing 10, the number of Aaron Ramsey. Nico Williams escapes a solid tackle.
It was really gutsy by Nico Williams, that. A double drag back in the middle of your defence.
Well, we're looking at a hobbling Brennan Johnson then.
Yeah.
Hope he shakes that one off.
Needless to say, there's a Viking hat in the crowd. You wouldn't expect me to miss that, would you? I used to have one of those when I was a kid, by the way. I was never a supporter of Iceland, but Viking hat.
Vicky the Viking, they used to call you, wouldn't they?
It's 1-0 Wales, Radio Well Sport on 5 Sport Extra, Group B. And a perfect start again for Craig Bellamy. They were 2 up within 2.5 minutes in Montenegro in the last game. But they've taken a little longer this time, but it's 1-0 Wales after nearly 15 minutes in Reykjavik. As the blue shirts of Iceland come forward down that left-hand side, there's an offside flag up.
Pitch doesn't look the best, does it? The whole setup reminds me of Spitty a bit. And what count used to play?
Yeah, it
Spitty
does
Park.
actually, it does.
You know, the pitches are great. Running track around the outside. Okay, it's a bit more of a stadium feel to it, but it's so open as well. And like I say, that pitch looks a bit bobbly.
Well, they say Ben Davis was supplied a pass in his own 6-yard box by Danny Ward then, and he suddenly found the lanky Williamson of Birmingham City on top of him, but he managed to squeeze the ball away and win a goal kick, which he's going to take himself, as is the wont these days, short to his own goalkeeper Danny Ward, who helps it back out to Davis, trots out of the penalty area, makes a good 10-15 yards. Is it square to Nico Williams, inside to the ubiquitous Ollie Cooper at the moment. He's everywhere, the diminutive Swansea City midfield player. Davis again, and Wales have started this game really confidently. Ferry the ball out to Wilson, who plays it forward for Brennan Johnson. That time he's thwarted by Daniel Leo Gretarsson. Plays his football in Denmark. Davis once more, just inside his own half. Approaches the centre circle, goes square to Roden. The Iceland fans trying to get behind their side to raise them. They've got a decent home record of late, unbeaten in their last 4 home league games since home games, since their defeat by Portugal in June 2023. And for the uninitiated, Spitty, for our 5 Sport Extra listeners, is where Newport County train. As Iceland come forward, good ball into the penalty area, but the attempted cross by the underlapping Finson is blocked. It's picked up on that far side by Torsteinsson. Now it's curled into the penalty area from deep, over the head of everybody. Goal kick to Wales. 17 minutes gone. It's Iceland 0, Wales 1. Listen to Radio Well Sport and 5 Sport Extra.
Yeah, pretty straightforward that to deal with, isn't it? Straight balls in the box, crossing it from that deep. Iceland want to make an impression. They're going to have to try and get behind Wales, but at this moment in time, Wales look really comfortable, both in and out of possession.
Yeah, and each goal kick right now for Wales, we're choosing to play really short passes to try and draw this Icelandic defensive team out.
Oh, Jordan James gives the ball away, and it's nothing made of it. Connor Roberts was caught then by Stefan Tordarson of Preston.
That's the one Jordan James is thinking. Once he releases it and sees the blue shirt, starts praying, right? Because you can't get nowhere near it.
We got away with that one.
Yeah, it did.
But look, we're obviously confident that we can play through this team because we're trying to draw them out in our half of the pitch and then expose a load of space through the central areas. Because to be fair to Iceland, when they're defending around that halfway line, it's quite a compact block. Having said that, we've managed to get through it a few times and we've gone over it once.
Yeah.
Here come Wales again. Kiefer Moore taken out just inside the Iceland half. Sheffield United striker scored after 37 seconds in Montenegro. Not the quickest Wales goal of all time, as we know. That joy goes to an Azerbaijani player, Talan Akhmedov, in 2003, when he scored after 15 seconds in the Wales net. For
OG.
Wales, yeah, an OG. Do you play in that one? Nice. Ball into the penalty area. Moore turned on it. Don't think it was going in. I think the flag was up anyway, but the goalkeeper plays the ball out. It's a sensible decision as well because Iceland have turned defence into attack. Moving up towards the edge of the penalty area. Rambling run by Torsteinsson, who's taken down by Wilson, who's
Clashed heads, right?
clashed heads, yeah.
Offside as well.
Yeah, looked offside in the build-up, to be fair, but they haven't pulled it back.
Harry Wilson checking if all his maulers are there. No, that really hurts, doesn't it? We've had these conversations before about how much what injury hurts. Oh, and Wilson just intercepted Torsteinsson and grabbed him round his chin. So,
Well, we've watched that replay twice. I don't know how one's holding their mouth and the other's holding their head. I couldn't see any contact.
no. Well, the only contact appeared to be Torsteinsson's arm around Wilson's chin.
Yeah, they're both kidding on, aren't they?
Surely not. Long ball forward picked up by Danny. Well, what?
But,
What do you mean kidding on?
well, neither of them was hurt.
Right, okay.
Especially with the injuries they were saying, because they didn't clash heads, did they? I thought they might have clashed heads and maybe his tooth, he'd hit him in the mouth with his head or maybe his arm or something like that.
There was I believing footballers are paragons of virtue and honesty. What do I know? 1-0 Wales. Low crossing from Torsteinsson, who's giving Wales a bit of a handful on that left-hand side.
That old one. Look at your studs. Clean the bottom of your boots.
Yeah, it's gone about 30 yards above the bar this time.
Yeah.
That was Stefan Tordarson of Preston, who's from a family of Icelandic internationals. And the family are there singing, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying, because technique-wise, it looked like he was trying to chip the keeper. But then, the amount of power he put on it, it looked like he was trying to drive it. So, not sure what he's trying there.
Has been a bit sloppy with possessions. They lead 1-0. Scarson comes short and then gives the ball away. Talking about being sloppy. Wilson over halfway. Wide is Johnson in the gloves. Brennan Johnson. Wilson again chips the ball into the penalty area. Looking for Kiefer Moore. Didn't have the distance to get there. It's cleared away by the Icelandic defence, and then it's lobbed forward by Gudmundsson for Scarson. But Nico Williams, also wearing gloves, rushes back to rob the Sociedad striker. 1-0 Wales. Wilson again. Nico Williams, having done his defensive work, loves to get forward. The Nottingham Forest full-back. Into Jordan James. Played his football at Rennes in Ligue 1. He had the 3 substitute appearances there, but talking on the Feast of Football podcast this week, appeared to be very happy with life in France. limited French, I think it's fair to say, Nathan Blake?
We?
Yeah. I'll set him up, you knock him down. And at the moment, Jane Lundy, you say this is pretty comfortable for Wales.
Yeah, well, Wales, decent in possession. They're controlling the play right now. They're moving the Icelandic block. It's a 4-4-2 block around the halfway line. They're moving it around, you know. They're trying different things. They're playing it through central, coming back out, switching the play left to right, right to left, and they're in complete control in possession right now. So it'll be interesting to see, can we break through this block? Obviously, the first goal came from us going up and over with a really good timed run from Wilson. But right now we're using the width a little bit more, so to see what we can create in the wide areas.
Plenty of Welsh flags draped over the sidelines, the hoardings.
Just keep an eye on Cooper there. He just seems to be getting into pockets of space.
Here's Johnson,
all of a sudden.
Right side into the penalty area, thinks about shooting, pulls it back for Wilson to clip it. Took a deflection, hits the post. Picked up by Johnson, who goes wide to that right hand side again. Harry Wilson involved in everything at the moment.
It's patient as well, isn't it? Patient build-up from Wales. Ball control.
Conor Roberts up with the forwards, but Wales have given the ball away. Turkey-Montenegro is still goalless in the live table. Wales are top of the B4 group, courtesy of Brennan Johnson's 4th goal for his country. We were only saying beforehand he probably owed Wales a goal or two. Well, he's started to pay it back. A mistake by Williams, and it's Conor Roberts who comes across to chip the ball out to this near side, the Icelandic right. Finson, who loves to get forward, tall right back. Made his debut in Icelandic club Fylkir at the age of 14 years and 229 days. That is really young, isn't it? And he clearly loves to get forward, because he's stationed at the moment as one of 4 strikers when he's nominally a right back. It's on the other side at the moment, though, as they try and get Torsteinsson of Hertha Berlin away. Wales deal with that, and then Jordan James is bundled over by Andri Gudjonsson.
That's the problem, Rob. They go in 4 up front. They go from back to front very often, not going through midfield. When they look up into midfield, Wales are outnumbering them, 3 or 4 to 2 often. So they're not trying to go through midfield at all. And if Wales just keep it tight, keep the concentration levels high, it should be a comfortable night for them.
And we were worried about how the Wales midfield would cope without Ethan Ampadu and Aaron Ramsey, let's not forget. Here's Wilson again, inside right, wide is Brennan Johnson. Johnson chips it in the middle, Moore is under it, heads it back across goal, can't find a red shirt. I think he was looking for Ollie Cooper. Ben Davis from the clearance heads it out to the left hand side, it's picked up by Oscarsson. Still in Icelandic possession, and then a low ball into the box looking for Gudjonsson, and Wales are happy to knock that up for a corner. 1-0 Wales. Radio Wales Sport, 5 Sport Extra, 26 minutes on the clock. Well, they do get men forward, I will say that for Iceland. It's got the crowd going a little bit. And to date in this group, all their goals have come from corners, so they've got a left-sided corner which will be taken by John Dagger Torsteinsson into the, looking at the edge of the box. Wilson got there before Finson could. I think it was destined for him. Finson's trying to protect possession just outside the Wales penalty area now, runs towards the box, lays it wide to Gudjonsson. Gudjonsson from the right hand side curls it in left-footed. It was a slip by a Wales defender then, but it came to nothing as Ward picks up a little poke forward by Gretarsson. And Johnson leads the move forward. He's just shrugged off the ball then by Torsteinsson, who gets on his bike going forward, still going. Maisie run inside now, finds Williamson on the edge of the box, and Nico Williams does a good job. And he brings the ball forward. He's wearing gloves. Oh, that's a really nasty challenge by Stefan Thordarson. And Thordarson gets a booking, and that rules him out of Iceland's next game. Wow.
There's a karate kick. Left knee-high karate kick, yeah? Obviously he's wrong.
Wow, how's that not
Nico
red?
Williams is cut inside him, and it's I don't know what to say about that, to be fair. I mean,
I seen Pereira do that in UFC on Saturday.
that's awful.
That is unbelievable. A yellow for that. There's a VAR. There are VAR officials there. Fran Jovic of Croatia is the VAR, assisted by Dario Bell, also of Croatia. But
It's probably the lack of force, Rob. If there's more force in it, then...
he did sort of stick his leg out, didn't he, rather than... Oh, he still brought him down.
Well, it weren't shin height, was it?
Whoa.
It was up by his hip.
Jane, I remember you playing in
No.
midfield.
At least I'd be making it look like I'm going for the ball, even if I wasn't.
61 caps you got away with.
Amnesia.
Before
Amnesia.
TV was on the
was it
field.
Again, Wilson's in again!
Yes!
And has made it 2! You just cannot keep Harry Wilson out of this game. Set up the first, running behind, and does it again and makes it 2-0. 29 minutes gone, and Craig Bellamy's men are really shining in Reykjavik.
Well, that's a brilliant run from deep again from Harry Wilson. And they're having a little conversation herself, and he's just broken the defensive line. Very similar to the first goal, but this time takes it down and scores a great goal, you have to say. Just look at his position. He's pointing, gets in behind the full-back, and then just slots it left-footed. It's a lovely finish, great run.
Really similar to the first goal, obviously. Fab timed run from Harry Wilson straight through the centre of the defence again. The defence are just reacting really slow to those balls coming up over the top. But it looked great for us. Good time in the movement and a really good finish, obviously. In the first goal, the goalkeeper got something on it, and then we had the follow-up from Johnson. This time, no follow-up needed. Really strong strike from Harry Wilson.
So now, I'm updating my stats as I go along with Harry Wilson. It's now 9 goal involvements in 9 games for Wales. 4 goals now and 5 assists. He is probably, I would suggest, Nathan Blake, Wales' most consistent player in the last year, 18 months.
I think Ethan Amadou would have something to say about that,
I'm
Rob.
going with Wilson.
Well, he would now, but there's been games where he haven't played in the last 18 months, so I wouldn't say he's the most consistent. What I'd say is every time he plays, he performs well. I've hardly seen him put a foot wrong, and every time in an attacking sense, he's brilliant.
Oh, there's a goal back, is there? No, cleared off the line by Nico Williams. It was Gudjonsson who, from a left-sided cutback, pulled it towards goal, and Nico Williams... No, wait a minute. It's there's a bit of argy-bargy on the pitch as well now, as Brennan Johnson was involved in something, but Nico Williams, that is a massive goal line clearance by the Nottingham Forest defender. Now the referee is involved here. Well, we can see it again. Nico Williams being applauded by his own. Brennan Johnson was pulled back, and then he's been booked as well for a push on Torsteinsson, who went down to the ground in...
Slowly.
Well, I was going to say in instalments. Oh, Brennan Johnson, is that him blowing him a kiss?
I think it was, yeah.
So Brennan Johnson, unfortunately for Wales though, will now miss Montenegro at the Cardiff City Stadium on Monday, so that could have consequences, and that is one heck of a goal line clearance by Nico Williams.
Yeah, when we watch it back, it was a great clearance, to be fair. There was question marks when you watch it live. Was it over the line now? It's definitely not over the line. It was a really good clearance from Williams.
Well, did wonder but what all the commotion was about and whether they might have looked on VAR.
Just looking at the ref, could have played an advantage there, so Thomas done really well.
So Brennan Johnson has scored his 4th Wales goal, as Torsteinsson also had a yellow card, and he is also going to miss Iceland's next game. But Brennan Johnson, that will be a big miss on Monday against Montenegro, do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely a big miss. And you know, I'm making faces because as a coach, they're the most annoying ones. You know, when you go, if you put hard tackling or something and it's mistimed, accidental, and you get a card, fair enough, you're smiling at me, Nate. But to me,
I'm smiling because I'm totally in agreement with you. And we all have that little petulant moment, but you know, I think Brennan there, the reaction once he got the ball, you know, when the lad grabbed the shirt, there was no need to shove him over like that. And like you say, you know, when you're on a good run like that, you'd expect in Montenegro great opportunity to go and get more goals and keep the run going, but it's disappointing. But you know, I know Craig won't make much of it, he'll just move on. Yeah,
it's an opportunity for someone else, isn't it, to come in and show what they can do. Right?
I agree, it's one of them ones that, you know, must frustrate coaches and managers, because it's a booking for nothing. You know, like you say, if it's a professional foul or something like that, trying to bring someone down, or it's a tough tackle, but those sorts of ones they're so innocuous.
Yeah, they are. What I would say is, of course, he didn't feature against Montenegro in the away game, and Wales won that one 2-1 in the rain. And they're leading this one by 2-0 against an Iceland side who look, you have to say, pretty limited, although they will probably say if that ball had crossed the line without Nico Williams' intervention, they'd be right back in it. The low cross into the penalty area, which ricochets off Ben Davies. Williams helps it out towards Ollie Cooper, curls it forward, just clears Wales 20 yards up. Craig Bellamy has got the black top on, had to replace his coat, didn't he, after Montenegro? I'm sure he's got the cash to sort out another coat.
I was wondering when he took the job, was he going to be a suit man on the side? I'm so glad he's not. The suit on the side of the football pitch don't work for me, I'll be honest.
Doesn't do it for you?
No, well look, as a female, heels were never going to work, were they? So it wasn't an option, but no, he looks relaxed, that's what I would say about him.
Trainers and chinos. Oh, Davis pulls down Oscarsson. He was done by a bit of skill then, Ben Davies, the Wales captain, on the edge of the box. It was a lovely little twist around by Oscarsson. 20 million euros from Copenhagen he's cost Real Sociedad. Club record sale from the Danish club. And Davis was caught hook, line and sinker, just dragged him down. The wall is 8 yards inside the Wales penalty area. Danny Ward lining up the wall now. He's brilliant from 12 yards, Danny Ward. And it's Ollie Cooper, the junior member of the squad, is the doormat behind the wall, bless.
Yeah, Gudmundsson can hit the free kick though, can't he?
Yeah, it's the captain, Gudmundsson. Hits it left-footed, curls it, and just over the top of the bar. Scored 8 goals for his country, including one against Wales back in 2014. But that one was always going over, and it's 1-0 Wales. You're listening to Radio Wales Sport and 5 Sport Extra. I've got Nathan Blake and Jane Ludlow either side of me to watch this Group B4 encounter. Always curling over that one.
Yeah, he just couldn't get it up and down, could he? He's a bit more of a floater.
Gudmundsson, of course, played with under Craig Bellamy at Burnley. He was saying what a fantastic individual he is. Had some great times together, he said. As well as take a free kick quickly. Sorba Thomas hearing towards Vincent, but Vincent stood his ground, and Thomas is penalised. I think it's fair to say Sorba Thomas has made the most of his Wales recall, hasn't he?
He has. In those situations, just want to see him push it to the byline. Rob, race the defender. Worst case scenario, try and get a corner. You have men up front.
Well, if you listen to the Feast of Football podcast on BBC Sound, you'll hear Sorba Thomas talking about his disappointments leaving West Ham and having to cope with that. He was a builder for a while, scaffolder, and he got back into football through Boreham Wood, and he's now back in the Wales squad. Craig Bellamy recalling him after nearly 2 years. And he's helping Wales lead 2-0 at the moment. 7 minutes to half-time, crossing to the Wales box. Wondered if that was offside. Gudmundsson shoots, takes a deflection. And I think there is an offside flag up.
Yeah, I've just lost a bit of control in the last 5 minutes, Wales.
It was Williamson, who's at least 6 foot plus. His dad, Willem Poulsen, that's Williamson's dad, was a player, a manager, and he's now the Icelandic Minister of Health. There you go. So if he needs a doctor, he just rings his dad. Sort it out. 2-0 Wales. Brennan Johnson and Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson's 10th goal for his country. Brennan Johnson's 4th, but he's also been booked, so he misses Montenegro at the Cardiff City Stadium on Radio World Sport on Monday from 7 o'clock.
So I'm disappointed for the fans in that, more than anything. To actually see him on form right now playing, especially for the young players. You know, the young fans coming to watch the national team play on Monday. I'm gutted that they aren't going to see him play, unfortunately, because of that yellow card.
What you would say more practically is that the return of people like David Brooks, Nathan Broadhead, has added to Wales's attacking resources to be able to cope with an absence like that. Although there's nothing like a striker in form, is there? There's another yellow card coming here, and it's for Connor Roberts this time. Connor Roberts is not one of those who's on a yellow card. Craig Bellamy is complaining to the 4th official, saying, "You come to see me." He's been told to get back into his technical area.
What's he doing?
And he's asking.
He's manager the stadium.
And they're all ending smart. He's a changed man, Craig Bellamy, isn't he? He's a changed man.
I remember those hard tackles and he'd still be smiling at people afterwards. It hasn't changed.
Not at all.
I mean, let's face it, when you're Bellamy watching, you do wait for the explosion, don't you? But
I think that was playing days, Rob, to be fair.
yeah,
You do mellow as you get older, as you know.
I wouldn't know. Sorba Thomas, like Peter Pan. Left side of the penalty area, lays it back for Wilson. He puts it across to Johnson, who shoots right-footed. Blocked though by Finson. Clears downfield, picked up by Roden on halfway. 4 minutes to half-time. Wales leading 2-0 on 5 Sport Extra and BBC Radio Wales. And it's slowed down again now with Roden. Back to the captain, Davis. Williams just inside his own half. Cross halfway to Thomas on this near side. Just a few yards away from his manager. Now he threatens to pace downfield, but halts the run as the ball goes back. Williams again being forced back. Now he decides to take on his marker. Little turn by Sorba Thomas, back heel, but Wales have won back possession with James and left Gudmundsson. I think he kicked the ground then, Gudmundsson. That looked worrying. Oh, Sorba Thomas in behind the defence again. They've got another Wales player in behind. This time Thomas, but this time Valdimarsson, the goalkeeper, is equal to it. Chipped in by Williams from the Wales
there.
left. And Wales could be 3 up, Jane Ludlow.
Could be, and it's another, example of us reading that line really well. The back line of Iceland just aren't reading triggers very well tonight at all. They're standing still, they're flat standing still, and to be fair, Sorba Thomas has seen that and he's in behind them. Great opportunity for him. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He's bobbling around a little bit, and like Nathan said, he could have taken a touch and maybe gone one side of him then, but he's hit it straight at him.
Iceland, I suppose, still in it at 2-0, and then they won't be if Oscarsson shoots like that from distance, well wide, dribbles wide from about 20-odd yards, looks thoroughly disappointed with life. Nathan Blake, 2 minutes to go to half-time, what are your thoughts?
Comfortable, Rob, really comfortable. I think, the way to break them down, Wales have worked it out. Runs from deep from midfield, or the wide men running across from their full-backs and around the centre halves. And I expect Wales probably to get another 2 or 3 good chances in this game, at least in the second half.
Tactically, Craig Bellamy has played a blinder, hasn't he, Jane?
Yeah, it's working, He's obviously encouraged the team to be patient in possession, keep moving the ball around, and we can break that block. We've been really successful when we've actually gone over that back line, because like I said, I think if you're an Icelandic member of the team right now, coaching staff, you're going to be a little bit frustrated with the defending of the back four, because they aren't reading triggers very well, but we're exploiting it, which is great. It's obviously something we've targeted as a team. We're happy to keep possession deep in our own half, trying to drag them out, create some more space to play through. If they don't come, then we're happy to take the ball a bit further and look over the top, like we're doing again right now, into Sorba Thomas on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's you've got to say it's just a straight ball, really. Thomas crosses from the Wales left. He was looking for Kiefer Moore, headed back towards the Icelandic penalty area. He should be able to clear it now with Gretarsson. He's holding on to it. Actually, it's Ingi Gasson, and Iceland have a throw. Should mention that Jane Ludlow, one of the stars of the new documentary on BBC Sounds, Women in Red. If you missed the first episode, it is on Sounds. That was about pioneers. Heard a bit of you in that, but I suspect you're going to play a much bigger role in the next one, Progress, as Conor Roberts loses possession, going back towards his own penalty area, and Iceland have it again. It's well worth listening. It's the story of the rise and rise of women's football in Wales. 1 minute of added time for the men here in Reykjavik, and they're leading by 2-0. Williamson crosses from the right side into the Wales box. It's cleared away by Jordan James on the edge of the penalty area, and then Kiefer Moore is fouled by Sverrir Ingi Ingason.
It is a good listen, that pod. I didn't realise you retired a few times, so.
Can we not go there tonight, please?
I mean,
no,
really
I'm laughing. Everybody listen to it. You'll understand why. It was a different.
Mark Poyser did a really good job.
It was a different environment.
Just like drawn out some real
61 caps.
golden nuggets there.
600 caps.
I've had enough. I'm off.
Anyway, enough of that for the moment. We'll come back to that second half. Don't worry. Because Jane Ludlow is satisfied at the moment with what they're doing on the pitch in Reykjavik, as Thomas chases a through ball by Kiefer Moore down the left-hand side. He's going to hold it up. May not be much time. May get a chance of a Kiefer Moore shot from outside the penalty area. No, it lays it wide to Thomas again. Moore goes sprawling after he's passed the ball out to Thomas. Cooper's involved as well, left side. Thomas hugging the touchline. It says 1 minute of added time. That is the minute of added time, and the Craig Bellamy success story continues in Reykjavik. It's all so good so far. Brennan Johnson with a tap in on the line, thanks to a Harry Wilson break, put Wales ahead after 11 minutes, and then Harry Wilson himself got in behind once more just before the half-hour mark to make it 2-0. And Iceland are facing a whole host of problems, and Wales are sitting pretty in this B4 group game in Reykjavik. Half-time, Iceland 0, Wales 2.
Wales are within touching distance of a first ever major tournament. But how did we get here?
Jets Fishlock is Wales's all-time leading goal scorer.
The rise of Welsh women's football. as told by Jess Fishlock.
If you think you know the story, you have no idea.
He gave us all the reasons why women would never play for Wales.
It's always been like that in women's sport. We can't afford it.
How do we build a culture that people love? People feel that we can achieve the unachievable. You know, I still think about how close we got.
For us, for them, for her is the foundation for everything this team does.
It's now or never for us. We want to make history.
The icon becomes a legend.
Iconic. The rise of the women in red. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Yeah, that's a story that could yet have a fairy tale attached. Key playoff games coming up for Wales, those Euro 2025 playoff matches later this month as Wales face a double-header against Slovakia. But as for the men's team tonight, well, they've looked pretty red-hot in the cold of Iceland, haven't they? With two London-based stars of this Wales team putting them 2-0 up in Reykjavik. Tottenham's Brennan Johnson, 7 in 7 for club and country. And Fulham's Harry Wilson, his 10th goal for his country. Iceland 0, Wales 2. How satisfied, Jane Ludlow, will Craig Bellamy be at half-time with that?
I'd say really satisfied. We're in control of this game right now. Kind of didn't want the half to finish because this game, there's more goals in this game for us, which is really nice to see. I think we've obviously identified some weaknesses in their play, and you know, tactically it's working, and every player on the pitch right now is doing the job really well.
Just a little bit more composure, Nathan, in front of goal, and they could be, as you sort of said, 3 or 4-0 up.
Yeah. Listen, you're happy with that scoreline at half-time, 2-0. But Sorba's had an opportunity. I think, really and truly, that's the one. He could have gone round the keeper for me. But as for that first half, Harry Wilson has been really dynamic, brilliant. And Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side. I just think that, the pattern that Iceland are playing in is the norm. 45-55% possession in favour of Wales. That happens in a lot of their games. They you don't batter them, but they do concede possession and try and hit you with the long ball. But the defence have just soaked up anything. We've had the one scare with the clearance off the line from Nico, but that aside, it's been a really comfortable evening.
It has. 54% possession for Wales in that first half. 7 attempts on goal, 5 on target. Not bad. Let's go to Carl Roberts, our pitchside reporter there in Reykjavik. The Red Wallers who are out there in their bobble hats. Carl, not bucket hats tonight in the cold. Enjoying that?
Absolutely. Bobble hats required here. It's a dramatic scene here. I mean, normally you've been to enough grounds and you see the smoke floating across the field and thinking that it's the flares. Here, would you believe it, it's the hot dog stands. I don't know if you've got the pictures there, and it might look like people are firing off flares. They're firing off hot dogs, and there's a whiff of hot dogs in the air, but Wales won't be distracted by that fascinating in that first half. Craig Bellamy watch. Sat right behind the technical area, and obviously he kicks every ball, and his frustration when players aren't doing what he wants them to do, and he's down on his haunches and he looks away, and he doesn't want to radiate that negativity onto the field, so he's trying to hold it in, but he's been in a running battle with the fourth official. And it was fascinating watching Bellamy in that first half. And interesting, when Harry Wilson scored that second goal, Joe Rodon wandered over to have a chat with the manager, and Bellamy sent him packing. He said, go and celebrate with the rest of the players in the corner, and off Joe Rodon trotted. Wales fans, the only ones making any noise in here, it must be said. We did have the thunder clap in the first half from the Icelandic fans, and there's a drummer opposite us making a bit of a racket, but the Wales fans are doing Wales proud. Plenty of noise here, one way of keeping warm, I suppose.
We'll go and seek out the hot dog stand then, Carl. Thank you very much there. It's interesting, isn't it, watching Craig Bellamy on the sidelines, bawling at the fourth official, as Carl was saying, but then kind of pulling himself back from all-in confrontation to radiate a bit of positivity, as Carl was saying. Right, so second half commentary to come then on Iceland v Wales, and we'll also, including a little bit of Rob Page, his predecessor, on his dismissal back in the summer, and all of the rest of the day's sports news. That's after we get the latest BBC Radio Wales news, travel and weather with Sean Hell.
This is Radio Wales on BBC Sounds or on your smart speaker. Play BBC Radio Wales.
BBC News for Wales. The leader of Plaid Cymru has said his party would deliver a healthier and wealthier Wales should it enter government following the 2026 Senedd election. Rhun ap Iorwerth was speaking at the party's annual conference in Cardiff. The leader of Cyngor Gwynedd says he's saddened by the resignation of 4 cabinet members this evening and will consider his own position over the weekend. Dyfrig Shenkin has refused to apologise to the victims of paedophile head teacher Neil Foden, but this evening issued an apology. Our political editor Gareth Lewis has more.
An apology after what he said on the TV last night and that news that he'll also consider his position now as leader of Cyngor Gwynedd. Earlier in the day, there were senior party figures telling us that his position was untenable and that he had to go after not issuing that apology last night in the interview with Newyddion on S4C. I also spoke to Rhun ap Iorwerth, the leader of Plaid Cymru, earlier this morning on a visit to the Ely area of Cardiff and asked him if he had confidence in Dyfrig Shenkin. He didn't give a direct answer to that, saying he had confidence in Gwynedd Council to sort things out.
Gareth Lewis reporting. The BBC has announced fresh details of an independent review of its workplace culture, which was first announced after the departure of the disgraced newsreader Hugh Edwards. It'll be published in April and will pay particular focus to preventing the abuse of power. A former Gwent police officer who broke his wife's back by kicking her downstairs has been barred from working as a police officer. 2 allegations of discreditable conduct were found proven against Hugh Orphan at an accelerated misconduct hearing in Cwmbran. Stephen Fairclough reports from outside the hearing.
Temporary Assistant Chief Constable Nick McLean said he had no hesitation in finding the allegations proven. He said that Hugh Orphan had resigned from the force shortly before the hearing, but that he would have been immediately dismissed had he not resigned after bringing the force into disrepute. Hugh Orphan was found guilty in September of kicking his wife downstairs during an argument in 2020, fracturing one of her vertebrae. He also hit her head and dug his nails into her on another occasion. ACC McLean said that gratuitous violence against a woman was an aggravating factor.
A man from Anglesey caught with explicit videos depicting sexual acts with a tortoise and other animals has been handed a 6-month suspended jail sentence. The 30-year-old was arrested after his phone number appeared in records of a child sex abuser in London. Our reporter George Hurd was at the Crown Court hearing in Llandudno.
Suspicions about James Owen were raised following a Metropolitan Police investigation into a paedophile group in London. When his phone was seized at his home near Amlwch on Anglesey, an image of a young girl being abused was found, along with extreme pornography involving animals. Owen denied ever looking at the child abuse image and said the pornography had been sent to him as a joke and he didn't know it was illegal. But he pleaded guilty to 2 charges related to the material, and along with a suspended jail sentence, he must carry out 100 hours of unpaid work and register as a sex offender for the next 7 years.
And Wales are taking on Iceland in Reykjavik tonight as they aim to continue their unbeaten start to the Nations League campaign. Wales lead by 2-0 at half-time. And that's the BBC News for Wales at 8:20.
BBC Radio Wales Travel.
Good evening, I'm Gary King with your latest travel news. Just looking at the Traffic Wales cameras, no major problems at the moment on the M4, the A55 along the North Wales Expressway and also the Britannia Bridge also looking okay. At Narberth, the A40 still has temporary lights. That's due to works just near to the A478. And on the trains, no service on Transport for Wales again today between Corriton and Cardiff Queen Street, and a reduced service between Cardiff Central and Penarth, and that's due to planned engineering works. And for now, that's the very latest from BBC Radio Wales Travel.
BBC Radio Wales weather.
Dry with clear skies for many tonight, but some thick cloud building in during the early hours with a possibility of a few light showers in the south too. A chilly night, temperatures 2 to 3 degrees Celsius in the east, 4 to 8 degrees in the west, and a little warmer again on southern coasts. Tomorrow, variable amounts of cloud and occasional showers moving in from the northwest, turning breezy and cooler later in the day as the cloud and showers will clear away. Temperatures tomorrow though between 9 and 12 degrees Celsius for most, again a degree or 2 warmer along southern coasts. And that's the latest forecast.
Your team for Welsh sport. BBC Radio Wales Sport.
Thank you very much, Sean. Welcome back to Radio Wales Sport with Ian Hunt, also live on BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra for Wales' Nations League game in Reykjavik. And we've had a first half to warm Welsh hearts in freezing cold Iceland.
Craig Bellamy really happy with the way things have gone so far, and he is looking to become the first Wales manager to go undefeated in his first 3 games. Good ball forward by Nico Williams. Wilson's onside, is he? And it's just saying no, it's turned in by Brennan Johnson, and 10 minutes gone. Johnson continues his super streak. That's 7 in 7 for club and country. It's Iceland 0, Wales 1. Wilson's in again, yes! And has made it 2. You just cannot keep Harry Wilson out of this game. 29 minutes gone, and Craig Bellamy's men are really shining in Reykjavik.
This is BBC Radio Wales Sport
with Ian Hunt.
Yeah, the Red Walls are happy, those who made the trip out there, and I hope you're enjoying it if you're listening to our coverage here on Radio Wales this evening. Good to have you with us this Friday evening. It is Iceland 0, Wales 2. Goalless, meanwhile, between Turkey and Montenegro, the other teams in Wales's group. So at the moment, as it stands in the live table, Wales are top. 45 minutes to come. Commentary here on Radio Wales with Jane Ludlow, Rob Phillips and Nathan Blake. We'll be back with them shortly. But of course, Craig Bellamy looking for his second win as Wales boss. Meanwhile, his predecessor has been speaking for the first time since being sacked in the summer. Rob Page leaving his post after a 4-0 friendly defeat to Slovakia and a goalless draw with Gibraltar. And he says it took him a while to come to terms with losing his dream job.
Ultimately, when you get the sack, you don't want to leave. It's not your choice. So I was still in that mindset then of looking forward to the camp, and it was a hard one to take. When you're sacked, the next couple of days, couple of weeks, it took me a little while to come to terms with it, if I'm honest. And you miss it because you're in that routine. You all the planning throughout the summer as well was with one eye on September, ready for the Turkey game, and it is a hard one to adjust to. But you've got to get on with it. This is football, Mark, as we know, and you've got to adjust. And the sooner you do, the better.
Well, you can hear the whole interview with Page on the Football Daily podcast, which is available on BBC Sounds. And now to another Wales boss, Matty Jones of the Under-21s. Their hopes of reaching the European Championship finals hanging by a thread tonight after an own goal and an admin error cost them in a 2-1 defeat against Czechia. 6 players were unavailable for selection, including senior international Ruben Colwill. A win would have kept alive chances of Jones's side finishing top and securing an automatic spot in next summer's finals in Slovakia.
Listen, the boys have shown character, as they have done right throughout the campaign. I think everyone wrote us off. To overachieve is an understatement. So listen, there are a lot of positives for me. The players don't want to hear those right now, and my emotions are really fragile as well, because it's been a lot of hard work for 2 years, and to see it come to an end like that, even though we're hanging on to a string in terms of Lithuania having to take points off what is a wonderful team in Czech Republic.
Yeah, so Wales now need the Czechs to fail to beat Lithuania at home on Tuesday to seal a place in the playoffs. In rugby, a really important win for Wales women today. They've avoided dropping into the third tier of the WXV competition. That's after beating Japan for their first win of the campaign, relieving some of the pressure that had been building on the head coach Johan Cunningham before a Rugby World Cup year.
Yeah, we're delighted to get that win. Credit to Japan, a great team. But I'm so proud of our players, how we stuck in there. I thought defensively we were great today, and just so pleased to get the win.
Then obviously heading to the World Cup next year as well. Congratulations. I mean, if we could look at the next 8 months or so, what are the plans?
Yeah, it's an exciting 8 months. Really looking forward to it. A lot of hard work to be done, but what an exciting opportunity. Great for our players to show their talent on the world stage, which we can't wait to do.
And meanwhile, tributes have been paid to the former Wales men's coach, Kevin Bowring, who's died at the age of 70. He became Wales's first full-time professional coach when he took over in late 1995. And one game in the United Rugby Championship this evening. Glasgow 21, Zebre 3 is the latest score. Tomorrow at Radio Wales Sport live from Cardiff Arms Park for Cardiff's double quest over Welsh rivals Scarlets. Well, the teams are back out for the second half in Reykjavik. Iceland, I think, making some changes. They are trailing Wales by 2 goals 0-0, and we'll see what Wales do, obviously with Monday's game in mind at home to Montenegro, again live on Radio Wales from the Cardiff City Stadium. But we've got 45 minutes to get through first in Craig Bellamy's third game as manager. So let's hand you back to our commentary team, and indeed Rob Phillips, Jane Ludlow and Nathan Blake. They are going to make a change, Wales, it seems.
They are indeed, and it's Wes Burns coming on for the goal scorer Brennan Johnson, who we know has already been booked and will miss the Montenegro game on Monday, live on Radio Wales Sport. So Wes Burns of Ipswich Town missed last month's camp because of injury, just signed a new deal at Ipswich as well as the Barry-born player, and he's on for his 9th cap for his country, who are on the attack already. And it's Burns who's chasing down possession, cleared away up to halfway, and Wales just have to keep it tight now, Jane Ludlow and Nathan Blake, just to see off what will inevitably be a bit of a charge by Iceland in the early minutes of the second half.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, we've had the one personnel change for us with Johnson going off and Burns coming on, but I'm sure it's going to be keep it as it is. We played so well first half and we controlled possession. Obviously, the thing we can't control is whether Iceland come out and change things. Obviously, they've changed some personnel, but do they change structure and how they're playing? Because if they continue to do what they did first half, then I can see us scoring more goals second half and picking them off.
Yeah, Finson has gone off for Logie Thomason. Finson was playing right back as Ollie Cooper drives forward for Wales again. Sober Thomas on the overlap. Cooper's on the ground just outside the Iceland penalty area. Referee allows play to go on. Williams chips in the cross, looking for Kiefer Moore, and Valdimarsson comes out. Nathan Blake, what do you think Iceland have been told by their coach, the wily Hareide?
Probably do everything a bit quicker, get the ball forward quicker. I don't think they're going to play through the lines at all. I don't think they're going to encourage Wales to come and press them. I think this is their strategy, you know, big diagonal balls from back to front. So I expect more of the same, but I expect, like Jane said, I expect more of the same from Wales also. Take this thing out of the game first 5 minutes and then, you know, pick up the tempo a bit. I'm sure they can get a third goal, but they just look so comfortable and relaxed in possession. So you wonder, will they push on for that third goal?
So they've replaced Colbein Finson of Utrecht and William Williamson of Birmingham City with Logie Thomason of Strobgodset and Mikael Egil Ellertson, who plays his football in Venezia in Italy. Ellertson is a striker. Thomason is nominally a left back. Todarson of Preston about to take a throw in, looks like a long one into the Wales penalty area. Wales leading 2-0. Brennan Johnson and Harry Wilson the goal scorers.
A great header by Roden there.
It's with Valdimarsson, who clears long, and Conor Roberts just lifts a foot to stop Portainson from getting in behind from a long raking pass out of defence. And this time Ollie Cooper thwarts a potential Iceland attack. It's with Burns. Oh, he's given the ball away though. And Torsteinsson will cross from that left side, headed out this time by Ben Davis, the captain. Picked up by James, who's bundled over after the ball has gone by the substitute, Logie Thomason.
Just can't afford to play square there, Rob. Really dangerous. Final third of the pitch. I think it was Cooper.
And it wasn't much of a nudge on Jordan James. Wales have lost possession again. Iceland all in blue, Wales all in red. Iceland playing from right to left. Chance here, and it's drilled wide by the substitute Ellertson.
He's thinking with the wrong foot. Should have let that run across his body and just slotted it with his right foot back across the keeper.
That was an opportunity there for Iceland, and to be fair, since Burns has come on, his first 2 touches haven't been great. He's lost possession on the right hand side for us, and it's gone straight. Got turned over here. It's gone straight through the middle, and it was a great opportunity for Iceland here.
Ward might have got a touch, did he? Well, should be finishing that, Ellison.
He's on the ball now, trying to drive his way through. He's thwarted by Nico Williams, who's been solid in that left-back position. Davis gives the ball away with an attempted clearance. Breaks for Oscarsson, who goes around the Wales captain, shoots! Hits the bar! Shot from 15 yards, Oscarsson. He looks a talent, you have to say, and it ricocheted off the top of the bar and bounced out.
Yeah, Wales have started slowly, haven't they? Living dangerously here. Fortunate to get away with that.
The warning signs are there, Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, they are. The last couple of minutes we mentioned, obviously we've lost the ball in build-up play on a wide area twice, but we've just done it centrally, and yeah, that was a great opportunity for the central striker of Iceland to get the ball in the back of the net. Luckily for us, he's hit the bar instead.
Kiefer Moore has been added to the referee's notebook. Again, he's not one of those on a yellow card for Wales. Brennan Johnson, we know, is ruled out of the game against Montenegro on Radio Wales on Monday evening, 7 o'clock. We're on air from the Cardiff City Stadium. Not sure quite what Kiefer Moore's supposed to have done there. Bit of a stray arm, maybe. Does get booked a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, so big, so physical. I don't think that was really a foul for me. Hasn't pushed out with his arm or led with it.
So it'll be Torsteinsson who takes this free kick from the right hand side, chips it in right-footed. Did that come off Icelandic shoulder, I think? Goes up for a goal kick. It was Sverrir Inga Ingason who put it wide, his 52nd cap tonight.
Well, set pieces was the area I was a little bit concerned for us tonight, because obviously Iceland have a good track record of scoring goals from those direct opportunities, but we're dealing with it really well. Sometimes the detail from Iceland isn't too great, but actually when it is, then our backline, our defenders in those areas are defending really well.
Back pass which Thomas is almost on to, but Valdimarsson came out and collected, and then the ball over the top for Oscarsson, turns inside Ben Davis again. Davis recovers, another chance here though, and it's scooped over the top by Mikael Egil Ellertson, who's now guilty of 2 glaring misses in a matter of minutes, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, I'm going to strike his union in and just say a bubble just before he hit it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Or maybe that explains why he didn't hit the first one right-footed.
But to be fair, the last few moments, number 9 for Iceland, he's brought the ball down here fantastically well. He takes a touch to flick it around Ben Davis and sets his teammate up, and it's really unfortunate that obviously his teammate on the right-hand side hasn't managed to execute from an Iceland perspective, but we're lucky. Look, we've given him a few good opportunities now in the last 5 minutes. I'm hoping we tighten this up a little bit.
Yeah, all from our mistakes, playing square or sloppy passes.
Well, as I said earlier, Oscarsson, 20 million euros from Copenhagen, and we know how good Sociedad are at spotting talent around Europe.
No, he's a big centre forward, but he's got a delightful touch on him. His first touch is superb.
As Cooper is in strongly and wins the tackle against Gudmundsson, scurries over halfway, brought down by the substitute Ellertson, who's been involved in everything at the moment in this second half since he's come on. Aimless ball forward.
Wales just want to take the sting out of this now for 5 minutes. Good passage of play, keep the ball. Can't afford to lose it in these sort of positions.
2-0 they lead, and then Nico Williams guilty of a sloppy pass. Oh, a bit of a slip there by Fredriksson.
They keep inviting pressure now, Rob. The mistakes are only minor, but if they're not careful, they're going to lead to a goal.
2-0 they lead on Radio Wales and 5 Sport Extra. Talking about Oscarsson, Jane, he was managed by his dad at one club. As the ball goes into the Wales penalty area again, Davis heads it out, only half cleared though. Barge in by Torsteinsson, who wins the corner. It's all Iceland at the start of this second half. They're 2-0 down. Oh no, it's a goal kick. I was going to say Oscarsson managed by his dad. Now your dad was a manager.
I knew you were going to go there. My dad, Blind Ronza and the club Oscarsson.
Oh, he was on Arsenal's books as well.
But
as a player, wasn't
to
he?
be fair, at the time, back in the day, you can tell everyone Blind Ronza were a decent team. When
They were.
My dad tells me this all the time.
But how would you have coped?
Trophies.
How would you have coped with him managing you?
I
would have felt sorry for your mum and the tea table.
My dad, no chance he would have done it. He used to be on Blind Round the pitch with me, dealing with me up there for like half hour on a Saturday.
Here's Iceland again. Oscarsson turns, shoots. Good save, Danny Ward. I make that 4 chances in the opening 10 minutes of this second half.
Yeah, the centre backs in those situations have got to get tighter to him. You know, the ball wide, he's not offside. Wales just creating their own problems here, and if they're not careful, they're going to concede, and then this game is going to become really difficult.
Jane, you're giving us that manager's look there, as if you're on the side, it'd be a sort of...
Do you know, like, how quickly the game changes? Obviously, we've had the half-time break. It's put a bit of energy into Iceland. They're pressing us a lot higher, but they're doing it as a group of players now rather than the odd play, and it's causing us problems in our build-up play. But we're continuing to keep trying to build up short passes in our own half, and it is making me a little bit nervous because we're turning it over way too easy at the moment.
Got the option of Kiefer Moore. That's what you've got always. You can, that's a great release ball. They can play up over any press.
All up to Oscarsson. Ben Davies has had his hands full with Oscarsson, hasn't he? Up front for Iceland. And you've got to say that Ellerton has added a bit going forward as well. Born Icelander to an Indonesian mother as well, eligible for both countries. As Wales chip the ball up for another throw-in their own half, deep in their own half.
It's just a little bit sloppy right now, isn't it? Like that last moment from our goalkeeper Ward, and just chipping it up over, and it's going out for a throw-in in our defensive third.
It started like that though. We're almost 12 minutes into the second half. That's how Wales started, giving balls away in midfield, square passes, sloppy balls. It's just continued.
Ingerson has moved up for this as Tordarson throws it into the Wales penalty area. It came off Kiefer Moore, back of his head actually. There was a bit of pushing anyway, and Wales have a free kick. 57 minutes gone. Radio Wales Sport, Iceland 0, Wales 2 on Sport Extra as well, but it's not been a comfortable opening 10 or 12 minutes for Wales in this second half.
To be fair, you'd have expected Iceland to come out and change something, because it wasn't a good watch from their perspective the first 45 minutes, and we exploited lots of weak areas for them, especially in their back line. But to be fair to them, they've come out this first 12 minutes and they're playing at a far higher intensity, which is one of the things I think you mentioned, Nathan, in the sense of what they could change fairly easily, and they have.
Yeah, and equally matched by their good play is our bad play.
Yeah,
just
also loses possession then. As the other sub, Thomason, the left back, drives over. Wales have won the ball back with Jordan James. Tries to drive it. Oh, that was... He almost lost possession. He did lose possession. Now, what is it going to be? It's going to be a yellow card for Jordan James.
Thought about it, the referee.
Yeah, it was one of those where the ball got away from him and he went in both feet. Not particularly high, but you've seen him given, Nathan.
Yeah, because I expect him to pull out here. And he kind of did, luckily.
Yeah. So Jordan James is booked.
To be fair, that shows quite a bit of maturity.
Yeah, common sense.
He pulled his leg away. If he'd have kept his leg there, he'd have gone.
Yeah.
Red card with that.
I think that's
it was
why
still
the referee
slightly
changed his
high,
mind.
wasn't it? The one leg was still slightly high, but could have been a lot worse. Good thinking, Jordan James, 20-year-old, plays for Rennes, his 14th cap tonight. And he's taken to international football like a duck to water.
I think he's been different level, to be fair, since he's come in. A little bit of an unknown internationally, but he deserves his starting positions.
Gudmundsson stands over the free kick, the Iceland captain. Craig Bellamy will know well from his Burnley days. Gudmundsson chips it in left-footed, header up by Roden, picked up on the edge of the box, cleared away by Sorba Thomas, ball over his left shoulder, hooked over. It's back in the Wales penalty area. Ingerson lays it out wide for the cross in, but it's cleared away. Oh, and then Kiefer Moore gives it away to Gudmundsson. He's hurried into the attempt and he lobs it wide from 25 yards. Nathan Blake.
Yeah, just playing with fire here. I have to say, Joe Rodon, some brilliant headers again, clearing everything, but these situations here, edge of the box, centre forward, Kiefer, you know, trying to play a, not square, but a really dangerous ball across his 18-yard box, gets intercepted, and, you know, I keep saying it, but sooner or later they're going to take one of these opportunities.
And elsewhere in League A, Dennis Undav has scored a hat-trick for Germany. They're 3 up against Bosnia-Herzegovina as Sorba Thomas drives forward for Wales down that left-hand side. Hungary also in Group A lead the Netherlands by a 1-0. Roland Shalai of Galatasaray with the goal there, cross into the Iceland box, headed out by Ingerson.
Yeah, I love that from Sorba. You know, he's not much quicker than the lad, he's slightly quicker than him, but that's what I'm saying, keep driving to the byline. The lad will, you know, you will deplete his energy levels.
And a long shot which is parried away by Valdimarsson from the edge of the Iceland penalty area. It was Ollie Cooper, the Swansea City midfield player, who pulled the trigger, and Wales have a corner, leading 2-0. Cooper hit it right-footed.
Am I right in saying, Rob, there's no Cardiff City players in this squad?
You are right in saying that, yeah. As the corner comes in from Thomas, headed up by Gudmundsson, hooked away further by Torsteinsson, who goes chasing it and wins back possession. Of course, Mano Siopis played for Greece against England last night.
Done all right,
They've not got that many away on international duty, actually, because Callum O'Dowda has not gone with the Republic of Ireland because of an injury. Callum Robinson wasn't selected. And Ruben Colwell, of course, was due to play for the under-21s tonight, but if you've not heard, the under-21s lost 2-1 against Czechia, but they were hampered by their own FAW administrative error, which ensured that Ruben Colwell could not play along with a few other players. They only had 6 subs and they didn't have a reserve goalkeeper. We will hear from Matty Jones, the Wales under-21 boss, who has promised a vigorous review into what happened.
Yeah, if you're the CEO, you just handle that, don't you? You just take that and just say it. You don't want any young person, you know, who's made a mistake being thrown under the bus, do you? You know, if you're the CEO, you just say, right, you know, stick your chest out and say, yeah, my fault. Oh, I would.
Well, if you look on my X feed, there are plenty saying, well, clubs have been punished, losing points and fines for similar administrative errors. Anyway, we'll come back to that. As the low cross goes into the Wales penalty area, Johnson was beaten to it by Cooper just as well. I think the Icelandic fans thought that might be a penalty then. Jane Ludlow?
I think it was just a really well-timed tackle and probably highlights how well Cooper's played today, to be fair, alongside James in midfield. They've done a really cracking job defensively.
Here's the substitute Burns on for Johnson down that right-hand side, up towards the Iceland byline, but he's robbed by Stefan Tordarsson. And they cleared it up to Torsteinsson, who's already made a nuisance of himself. Ellertson runs towards goal, sets up Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson shoots left-footed, drives it wide. I've not listed a Wales chance yet in this second half, other than Cooper's shot from distance. But Iceland, I make it 4 or 5 chances now.
Yeah, at least, Rob. That was a good chance also. Really poor finish. Spewed off his left foot wide. Should have done a lot more with it. And keep his toe down there, get across the keeper. But Wales really dicing with death here.
Should tell you as well, in the other B4 group game, Turkey are still goalless with Montenegro. So in the live table, Wales are on top at the moment. Elsewhere in League B, Czech Republic lead Albania 2-0. And Ukraine are 1-up on Georgia.
Just not found a rhythm, have they, Wales, this second half? I think Craig Bellamy would be really disappointed.
Although sometimes you've got to just weather these storms, haven't you, and just cope with not playing very well, but hang on in there.
Yeah, I would say I agree with you, Rob. It's 20 minutes now, waiting for momentum to swing.
Yeah.
You know, 20 minutes is a long time, especially when you're on top so easily in the first half.
Another free kick given away by Wales. It's -1 in Reykjavik tonight. Although apparently, I was reading about this, the Icelanders love ice cream.
To be fair, been to Reykjavik a few times. Champions League, we always used to draw the Icelandic team. Lovely place, to be fair.
Yeah.
Lovely food.
Very
as well.
expensive though, isn't it?
Yeah, but well, we didn't have to worry about that. The club
okay.
were foot in the boat.
Typical.
Don't go there.
Our man Flint is here, Skin Flint.
I remember going there on a trip once. All the press had to share pizzas because we couldn't afford a proper meal there. There you go.
Well, there's me eating smoked salmon and all that for breakfast.
Yeah. Free kick into the Wales penalty area. Oscarsson. Jordan James did just enough again. He's a real handful, isn't he? Ori Oscarsson. His 11th cap tonight. He's only 20. I'll tell you what you didn't find in Iceland. You didn't find a fast food store called McDonald's.
We definitely weren't allowed to look for those stores, so I wouldn't know.
You're not allowed in there, are they?
This is the BBC. Other fast food outlets are available, but there are no McDonald's in Iceland.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
You can't buy a Big Mac. There's none in Montenegro either.
No.
So just as well we haven't been there. 2-0 Wales on Radio Wales Sport and Sport Extra.
Well, all joking aside, we're, what are we, 22 minutes into the second half. We're lucky that the Icelandic team aren't very good in the box right now. Because they've had numerous chances to get back into this game.
Well, we've been in their half once, just about 2 minutes ago, that's it.
And look, you could say we're defending our box really well, you know, red shirts predominantly our back four. When they're having to put themselves on the line, they're doing it really well, but we're putting ourselves in dangerous positions too often right now.
This is the substitute, Thomason wide on the left, can't get the cross past Wes Burns. But it's Iceland who've been asking the questions after the break. Wales leading 2-0. Stadium open on both sides of the goals, behind the goals, but around about 5,000. The capacity is about 13,000. As Tordarson launches another one into the Wales penalty area from the left touch line. It's cleared out, but now he crosses from that left side. Williams heads it up for Wales, picked up by Gudmundsson, shoots! Good save, Danny Ward. Dives to his right, just got a hand on it. It seemed to ricochet up in the air, but wide.
Yeah, it's a great strike by Gudmundsson. But equally, Danny Ward with a strong right hand, sees it late as well. Almost catches them, oh, they've gone quick.
Chance here, and this time they have equalised. It's the substitute Thomason, Logie Thomason. Iceland are rewarded for a strong start to the second half. Inside of the foot by Thomason, and he killed it inside the far post. And it's Iceland 1, Wales 2, and you just feel it's game on again.
Great set piece, nice and quick, caught us by surprise, and then Thomason just ventures towards the box, and it's a lovely outside of the foot finish. We've seen Harry Wilson do that a few times. Out to nothing really. Everyone's set up, but we did say it's been coming.
Oh, he had a lot of time to pick his spot, though, didn't he, on the edge of the box?
Yeah, we're asleep.
Not enough pressure coming on him. It's a delightful finish outside of the left foot down to bottom corner of the goal. It's a great finish, but from Wales's perspective, we're asleep on a set play and we haven't reacted to the phases there at all.
Sums up the way we've started in the second half and continued, really, and now we've got it all to do.
Roda's on the chase back. Went to ground, waits for the free kick, and belatedly the referee gives it because of a little nudge in the back by Torsteinsson. Those of you familiar with Alan Tate of Swansea City will know all about that. Running back towards his own goal or byline, felt a slight touch in the back, was famous for it at Swansea. And Joe Rodon obviously learned a bit from Tate when he was on the books of Swansea City. Actually, it was a bit of a grab of his number, wasn't it? Rodon looks up, why isn't that a free kick? And then gets given it. But Wales give the ball away again on the other side. Finson, but Cooper slides in. And it ricocheted off the marauding Icelander. And we've got 20 minutes to go. The Aberdeen Bluebirds flag is flying, or draped over the sidelines. But these are anxious moments, Jane Ledlow.
Yeah, it's a completely different game, the second half, to be fair. You know, we went in half-time, we were all saying how well Wales were controlling the match. It was about picking the right point to break them down again, and we've come out second half, and we can't get hold of the ball right now.
And it's 2-1 on Radio All Sport and 5 Sport Extra. The Icelandic chant is, you can hear, there you are. Collective cough. Perhaps they go your bug, Nath. Wales need to kill this game for a while now. Just hold on to possession. They haven't got it at the moment. It's with Thordarson as the rhythmic clapping gets faster and faster. You remember that from 2016. Rodon cuts out an attempted through ball, but then gives the ball away in midfield, picked up by Gudmundsson, the captain, leading by example, and Turkey leading Montenegro now. They've just taken the lead to go level with Wales, or probably just above Wales. They will be just above Wales in the B4 group table. Little back heel sends Logie Thomason, the goal scorer, to the byline. Can he cut it back? Oh, he's scored! It is, it's an equaliser. Thomason from a really narrow angle. It may go down as a Danny Ward own goal, but it's 2-2. Iceland have come back from 2-0, and the substitute Logie Thomason has got his second in no more than 3 minutes.
I think Craig Bellamy will be thinking of making a few changes now. I was going to say it a moment ago, just before that action, but you know, Wales just not in the game at all, really struggling. And again, you wouldn't look and go, it's anything special. Conor Roberts, I feel, probably tucked in a bit too far and then committed himself to try and tackle. And in fairness to Thomason, he's just pushed it around him. Here, if he just keeps running, I think he can probably tackle him.
Does it go in off Danny Ward's elbow, do you think? We're just looking at a replay now.
Yeah, I think he goes through his legs and comes off his elbow, to be fair. But look, it's a simple overlap on the left-hand side, and we get exposed right back. Conor Roberts is on his own there. There's an overlap really well timed from Thomason. He cuts inside. Roberts can't do much there because that's going to be a penalty if he steps in there.
Yeah,
but
I don't think he has to commit though, Jane. I think if he keeps running straight or to the right, I think he stops that, blocks that cross at least. I think he goes to block the first cross, and then the lad does well because he cuts across him, as you should do. But I think Conor's still in a position where he can make a last-ditch tackle there for me.
Well, they're saying that it's Thomason's second goal, but actually I think poor old Danny Ward might have to take that one because the ball went through his legs. It was such an acute angle, and he was only about a yard away, was Thomason, when he got to the byline, and he nudged it across. He went through Ward's legs and then hit his backhand or elbow, and I don't think you can say that Thomason shot was going in from that angle.
To be fair to Thomason, he's changed the game, hasn't he? He's come on as a substitute at half-time, and he's got 2 goals in the bag potentially, and he's done really well on the left-hand side, and it's exposed obviously us coming out second half and not really being at the races. We're slow to everything. We're choosing to keep trying to play out under a very much higher press from Iceland, and they've had lots of success pressing and winning the ball back in our half. And look, before they scored the first one, they must have created 6 or 7 good opportunities. So it was coming, unfortunately.
And the app I use is now giving this as a Danny Ward own goal. He looks crestfallen. Logie Thomason tries to get the applause of the crowd again, but what an impact, as Jane said, Nathan. Logie Thomason's made such a big impact, and Ellison could have done exactly the same on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what you want from your substitute, but if Wales, it's not what you want at all. They need to get a foothold in this half.
Well, Craig Bellamy got it spot on tactically before the break, but you do wonder now whether...
It was almost like they came out like it was going to be too easy again, Wales, you know.
And to be fair to them, if you think of the first 45 minutes, it was easy. So you can understand with them thinking, you know, lean back a little bit, boys, because we're comfortable here. We get in possession, we're breaking them down easily. But obviously things change in the game. Coaches for Iceland have changed things. The intensity from Iceland has been completely different. And like you said, Nate, it probably matches the lack of intensity we've come up with.
Yeah, and I just felt that dropped off in the end of the first half. I thought there was a couple of times where we could have attacked and we didn't. We kept the ball. I thought, okay, no problem, because we're so comfortable. But this second half, we just can't get a foothold in it. You know, fairness to Iceland, they've come out and changed a few personnel, but they put Wales right on the back foot from the beginning.
Wales have changed things now as well. Ben Cabango is coming on for Connor Roberts, and Sorba Thomas has also gone off, and it's Liam Cullen. So the two Swansea City players on. Cabango slots into that back line now, and Nico Williams looks as if he's switched to the right side. That was dodgy by Danny Ward then.
I mean, I don't think he was meant to give Cabango the eyes. He was looking forward. He's just tried to clip it. It's come off the outside of his foot and spewed out to the right. Very fortunate.
2-2. This really sloppy second half. And Wales have got it all to do now. 2-2. And they're hanging on, you have to say, having been comfortable in the first half with that 2-goal lead thanks to Brennan Johnson and Harry Wilson, and they barely laid a glove on Iceland in this since the interval.
Well, I don't think Craig will be happy if they draw this game or if they lost it.
Oh, and then Ingersson stops. Bit of a mix-up between him and Valdimarsson, but Wales couldn't take advantage. Ellison is trying to tackle Davis. So Davis runs out of room down that left side. He's had a tough night. Ben Davis at the heart of that Wales defence. The captain, his 89th cap.
Well, you can just see the reshuffle of Wales now. Ben Davis has gone off over as a left back and everybody's just shifted over. So Roden is left side centre back, Cabango is right side centre back, and we got Williams as a right back. And is that because we think Thomason is such a threat and we're trying to lock him up? Maybe.
Ball over the top of Williams. And it's back on again. Ellison touches it to Oscarsson, shoots, blocked by Roden. And it was Torsteinsson who got in behind Nico Williams, and Iceland have a corner.
I can't really believe what we're watching, to be honest with you. It's almost total role reversal. Wales look way off it.
Yeah.
This is the goal.
And the Iceland crowd are part of it now, whereas all you could hear was the red wall before the game, before the interval. Wales hanging on, 12 minutes to go, 2-2. Iceland have a corner from the right-hand side on Radio Wales Sport and Sport Extra. Gudmundsson, the captain, who's been a driving force for his team, is going to curl this in left-footed. It's hooked. It's Gudmundsson, who's been to the header by Roden, had to withdraw from some distance. Now Logie Thomason, who's caused problems already, shoots, blocked that time by the substitute Ben Cabango. out for an Iceland throw, which Stefan Thordarson will take. It's going to be a long throw into the box again from the Iceland left. Counting down to the last 10 minutes. Turkey still leading in Montenegro 1-0. Thordarson with a long throw into the penalty area. This time Nico Williams in the gloves heads it out. And these are testing times now for this Wales side, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, backs against the wall, Rob. It doesn't look like they're going to get back into this game and regain momentum. So right now, you just have to defend and defend well.
Swung in from deep by Thordarson to the edge of the penalty area. Ellertson tries to pick it up. Cleared away by Ollie Cooper, but there's nobody really up front at the moment.
Yeah, lost a bit of shape as well.
Yeah. Oh, this will be the sort of thing that really gets to Craig Bellamy, won't it, Jane? Taking your foot off the accelerator like this.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be stood on the sideline right now, just trying to figure out why the change. You know, obviously tactically there's a change from Iceland, and he's tried to adapt to it.
Oh, back pass by Burns, straight to Oscarsson, and he's put it wide. Oscarsson with a chance from an awkward angle, it has to be said, but that was another sloppy bit of play.
I think that's probably the fourth, maybe fifth opportunity that's come from us having the ball and making a sloppy pass or a bad pass. Very fortunate there.
You think how good we were in possession in the first half? We're equally as bad in possession.
Role reversal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's completely opposite.
Yeah, it's flipped over.
So yes, I'm sure Craig Bellamy will be scratching his head right now. Obviously there was a change, only one change half time from personnel perspective, but is it because we thought the game was in the bag and we've taken our foot off the pedal to a certain extent, and obviously Iceland have done the opposite?
Well, they're just replacing their captain, Gudmundsson, who I think has been a real key figure for them, and it's Thordarson who's coming on. Plays his football in Norrköping. He's got 6 goals for his country, so he's a threat as well. Ward takes a short clearance to Cabango, fires it up towards halfway, but Wales have lost it again. They're having to turn all the time. This time it's Cabango who lobs it up for a throw, and they're quite happy to just take throw-ins, Nathan Blake. This time Thordarson takes it quickly.
Just turning that back four.
Yeah.
Every opportunity.
Gretarsson back to his goalkeeper. Plays it back to Gretarsson, but for once a mistake by the Icelandic defence. Valdimarsson curls the ball up for a throw-in.
Like this is just trying to regain some control in midfield, Rob. A good shape, maybe overload it with an extra player, drop Cullen in there. Just leave Kiefer up on his own. Drag the wide men in a bit.
Cullen's being forced back to his teammate Cabango, then he plays the ball inside to the former Swansea player Roden. He's got Ben Davis as he trots over halfway to find on the left. There's Davis, waits for the run down that far side by Burns, but easily collected by Valdimarsson, beaten by Brennan Johnson and Harry Wilson in the first half, but Logie Thomason has scored one and forced Danny Ward to concede an own goal. 2 goals in 3 minutes to bring this game level again, and we've got 7 minutes plus added time to go on Radio World Sport and Sport Extra. Gretarsson drives the ball down the inside left position, curls out for a throw, but you can see what they're doing. It's always down this left hand side. Looks like a familiar figure, Gylfi Sigurdsson, former Swansea and Everton player, of course, Reading and Tottenham. He is their record goal scorer on 27 goals. And wearing the number 10 shirt, Gylfi Sigurdsson is about to make his 83rd appearance for his country. And it's Andri Gudjonsson, son of Ida Gudjonsson, who makes way. Not his night tonight. And Gylfi Sigurdsson who his coach Haraider described as possibly the best player Iceland has ever had, is on to try and see them over the line, which would be quite some comeback. And Sigurdsson makes his presence felt against Kiefer Moore.
I think Ida might have something to say about that, Rob. Chelsea, Barcelona.
Yeah, he might too, yeah. Just going on what the coach said, don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
2-2. 5 minutes to go. Passade time. Wales have got a little bit more of the ball the last few minutes. Davis out to Burns. This is all inside the Iceland half. Davis again just inside the Iceland half on that Wales left. Goes back to Roden. Crossfield to Cabango. 15-20 yards from the Wales penalty area. They're being forced back by the blue shirts press. Ward helps it out to Cabango just outside the box. James, Williams, they got out of that okay. Williams goes on a run down the right hand side, gets up to halfway, turns back to Jordan James. Forced back again to Cabango where it started. But is this the way Wales just trying to kill the game a bit, Jane?
Yeah, but the change here, the press from Iceland is a lot slower. The backline isn't coming up as it has been for the first 30 minutes of the second half. And Wales, to be fair, are exploiting the space that's available now. So yes, it's better. But it's better because Iceland have actually taken their foot off the pedal defensively.
Just saw a stat then. Iceland have had 18 shots at goal, Wales 8.
I think most of them would have come in the second half for Iceland.
Yeah. I don't think we've had a shot, have we? This
just Ollie Cooper's low drive, which the keeper pushed around the post. We're inside the last 5 minutes. And I don't think Craig Bellamy will be happy with what's happened here. As Cooper tries to get Wales going forward again. They definitely asserted a bit more control the last 5-6 minutes or so. Get a nod of approval from Jane Ludlow next to me. Cooper lays the ball in behind for Burns, but Ingerson comes across, clears upfield down that far side. Roden wins the header, picked up by James, moving Wales forward again. Wilson, who got Wales' second goal, but he's lost it to Thomason, the substitute, plays the ball infield, and Wales have got enough men back to cope with that.
To be fair, it was a great recovery tackle from Cooper again there. He's had a really good game so far tonight.
Williams has to turn away from two players, does well, squeezes it up to Cullen just a few yards away from him, pinned to this near touchline. 3 minutes to go on Radio Wales Sport and Sport Extra. 2-2 in this B4 group game in Reykjavik, the most northerly capital in the world. Free kick given away by Burns on Traustason. And the red wall won't be celebrated with quite so much gusto if it's only a point Wales go home with. There's only been one draw between the two sides in this is the 8th meeting.
Maybe it doesn't do them any harm, Rob. You know, bring them back down a bit. Everyone's singing their praises after the first two games and the first half today. Just bring them back down to earth a bit. Just show them that they...
Sigurdsson tries to get onto an Oscarsson back heel. Yeah, I know what you mean, Nate.
Do you know?
Cooper goes to ground and then loses out to a strong challenge by Tordarson. And Cabango reads the crossfield ball. Logie Thomason is in the heart of the action for Iceland again, but they're being driven back now. As Ingerson under pressure from Kiefer Moore. Slides her out to the right-hand side. Fridriksson up the line, but Wales win the ball back through Davis into the last 2 minutes now. Wales seem to have calmed the storm a little bit. 2 goals in 3 minutes really rocked them midway through this second half. Cross into the penalty area. Goalkeeper comes out for it, punches it. Wales thought he was outside the box. Referee has a good look. doesn't agree. Sigurdsson wins back possession. Oscarsson chips the ball through on this left-hand side. And it's Torsteinsson who shoots, hits the post. And there was, I think, in Wales had calmed the storm. Jane Ludlow.
I thought that was in, to be fair then. It was a quick counter from them. They win it on the right-hand side, switch it over to a free player left-hand side. And
offside, so.
look, he's in acres of space here. We are questioning whether he was offside, to be fair, but he cuts it inside on the edge of the box on his right foot. Goalkeeper's beaten, but thankfully the post is there to save us.
These are worrying times for Wales. They did the hard work in the first half.
Final whistle can't come quick enough to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a draw now.
And it's Iceland who are hunting the winner, having been 2-0 down at the break. 2-0 down inside the first half an hour. But it just looked a different side in the second half. 3 minutes of added time. Turkey still leading Montenegro 1-0. Craig Bellamy can hardly believe what's happened, I'm sure. And
I'll be interested in what he says, Rob, because the statement where he's saying we'll play better, we will. I mean, first half, you're tilting your hat to him because they are playing better, but second half, these are the things that, like, as a manager, Jane, you would know, right? You just can't explain, you can't understand. Players don't go out there to not put it in, but I think they're just guilty of being a bit, lackluster.
Oh, they've given the ball away again. Here's Sigurdsson outside the penalty area. Shoots left-footed, blocked by Cabango. Still not cleared. Ellerton on the edge of the box. He's blocked as well by Cullen that time. Ingerson is up from the back.
That's the other thing. I bet they've won 80% of the second balls, Rob.
Yeah.
No problem.
Logie Thomason down the left side. Has Torsteinsson up ahead. Now Torsteinsson into the penalty area. Drags it onto his right foot. Blocked by Nico Williams, who stops it going up for a corner. Torsteinsson wins it back. Still under pressure from Williams, who then wins it back from him. Really good defending by the Nottingham Forest player, who clears up towards Kiefer Moore. Heads it back to a Welsh teammate in Liam Cullen. And he wins a throw-in off Sigurdsson. There's a minute and a half of the added 3 gone, and it's 2-2 on Radio World Sport and Sport Extra.
Well, we'd take the point now, wouldn't we? We weren't saying that 45 minutes ago. We were thinking this is going to be 3, 4, 5-0 potentially, but look, it completely changed. Iceland, to be fair, have come out the second half, much higher, much more aggressive press, caused us problems in our build-up play. We haven't necessarily changed tactically. We've still tried to do the same thing under the higher press, and we haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, my friend texted me at half-time, can we keep up the intensity? And I thought, what's he talking about? It'll be a breeze, but yeah, poor performance, you have to
Burns
say.
loses possession. Sigurdsson tries to feed it through to Oscarsson, and Cabango made a key interception then, and Wilson is brought down for a Wales free kick.
Yeah, good positioning, great stretch from Cabango. Really good defending that, because he was in. Had he not made that.
Ward is going to trot up from his penalty area to take this free kick. He's just trying to put the clock down. In fact, he's been booked for wasting time.
Harsh, wasn't he? He just got
I thought
there.
he ran up towards it, yeah. He's not on a yellow card already, so he's okay for Montenegro on Monday. As Moore heads it down to a red shirt, cleared up towards halfway. Oscarsson holds off Cabango, then turns, but Roden is there covering. And there's the final whistle. Ward kicks the ball away in frustration. Craig Bellamy's side shone brighter than the Northern Lights before the break. But as far as Wales are concerned, not for the first time against Iceland, the lights went out in the second half and they were pegged back. 2-0 they led, and it's ended up 2-2 with 2 goals for Iceland in 3 second half minutes. And it's frustration for Craig Bellamy as it's finished in Reykjavik. Iceland 2, Wales 2.
Well, there's a bit of a warm embrace between Bellamy and his Icelandic counterpart, the manager, who you would have to say has inspired his team to completely overhaul themselves in that second half and come away with a point when it looked like Wales would run away with it. And they look really happy, don't they, just looking at the Iceland players at the moment, and in particular Thomason, the half-time super sub who scored one and forced the other, going down as a Danny Ward own goal, as Wales feel fortunate to get out of there tonight with a point in the end. Hugs between the two sets of players, but it is those Welshmen who look most frustrated. In fact, there's a bit of a joke going on between Bellamy and the Iceland manager at the moment. -4 degrees Celsius apparently with the wind chill factor in Reykjavik, and it might be a bit frosty in that Wales dressing room afterwards by the time that Bellamy has finished his debrief. Maybe he'll be happy with it, given, I don't know. When you look at half-time, though, Nathan and Jane, you'd imagine he won't be happy with what, as you said, Jane, going into the game, you'd be thinking, we'll take a point from this, but at half-time you're thinking, we want all three, we want loads of goals.
Yeah, I think as we watch the second half, I'm sure he would have been happy with the point now, but reflecting on the first 45 minutes, none of us would ever have imagined we would have been in that position second half, to be fair, and I'm sure he wouldn't have. He was definitely expecting the 3 points, I'd imagine, half-time, because we were comfortable, we were in control. The second half, things didn't go our way. Iceland changed things up, much higher intensity, and it worked for them, and we couldn't respond, unfortunately. But look, we still got the point away from home.
Yeah, and it leaves Wales second in the table because, I think they're still playing in the Turkey-Montenegro game. They're leading by a 0-0 Turkey, so they will go top of the table on 7 points ahead of Wales, who are on 5. Iceland third on 4. Montenegro 0 points at the bottom. They're heading for a 5th consecutive defeat for the first time ever, ahead of their trip to Wales on Monday. That'll be live on Radio Wales from 7 o'clock at the Cardiff City Stadium.